Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever Spider-Man. Spins the web, and he sounds, catches thieves, just like guys look out. Here comes Spider-Man.
Hey there, true believers, it's me, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Welcome to episode 2 of Wide World of Geek. Now remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Speaking of responsibility, I better get going. Gwen's waiting for me. Hot date tonight. Hey there, everybody. It's Baka here, and welcome to the second episode of... what are we called now? Welcome to the second episode of the Wide World of Geek. To any of you who are confused by this, I would like to apologize. This morning I woke up and I checked the YouTube page because I noticed that I had comments. And what I found out was that there is another YouTube channel named Geek Out, hosted by the Tech TV former personality Chris Perillo. I apologize. When I made that up, I did not know that there was another YouTube channel there. YouTube has been acting kind of weird for me lately, where things like my subscriptions will show up on one visit and then disappear unless I actually go into the subscription page. So when I searched for names, I originally thought like Geeking Out. Well, there's a show called that. I found that out. Geeked Out, that's taken. Then I tried Geek Out and didn't come up with anything. So I thought, okay, I'm safe. So I did that. Turns out, it's taken. There's another show by that that's got a lot more viewers than I do. Well, for some reason, a few of those viewers watched the show and then flamed me horribly. Very inappropriate comments. I apologize. We are now the Wide World of Geek. I looked. There's no channels called that. There's no shows called that. As far as I know, we're good to go. Anywho, let's get on with today's show. Today's show is all about The Amazing Spider-Man, which I just came back from seeing. Now, my feelings towards this movie are mixed. First off, it was a good movie in my opinion. Alex Garfield, Emma Stone did a great job as Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy. The action was excellent. Rhys Ifans was a great Dr. Connors. Everything you saw in the previews, action-packed, Spider-Man versus the Lizard, that's what it was. You had no, you didn't have the problem of, say, Spider-Man 3, where you had more villains than you know what to do with, as well as some very questionable storytelling. Martin Sheen as Uncle Ben, I thought was really good. He came off as loving but tough, wanting the best for Peter. They changed the origin around his shooting a little from the original, but it fits more in the times. It's less campy than the, oh, I was a professional wrestler and I let this thief go and then he shot my uncle as he robbed him. Now, it was the idea of with great power comes great responsibility and showing it. Not just having Uncle Ben talk about it, but having him live it, which was great. There was some cool backstory intrigue between Kurt Connors and Richard and Mary Parker, showing a past relationship that had some really weird stuff going on, but it worked. In the comics, you're always kind of confused as to what Richard Parker did. Were he and Mary Parker spies? Were they scientists? Were they nobodies? Did they die? Did they disappear? Are they still alive? It's confusing. It's a big jumbled knot. The movie tends to tell you Richard Parker was a scientist. For the safety of Peter, he and his wife left, and then their plane went down. Whether it went down from normal failures or whether it was shot down is not really discussed. But you get an idea that there is more going on behind that story. All in all, good movie. They did a couple things camera-wise which I thought were a little gimmicky. The first time that Spider-Man suits up, they do a first-person perspective. And it's like being in a first-person shooter. You can see the arms going out ahead of you, maybe the legs as he's swinging, so you get glimpses of the costume, but you've not seen the costume yet. You've seen him working on the mask and changing it up here and there, but not the full Spidey costume. Then he lands onto a building that's glass, and you see the reflection. You say, okay, cool. Now we know what Spider-Man looks like. And they move away from that. But then they go back near the climax of the movie, and for a very short bit, they go back to first-person shooter mode. And it doesn't feel necessary. The first time they do it, it's maybe too realistic. Like, you're going to move all weird, and you're going to have jerky motions, and the camera's going to kind of fling itself around as if it was your eyes, because, you know, swinging on webs is not going to be the smoothest motion. It didn't have to be so realistic. It's almost jarring to the eyes as it happens. That's complaint number one. Complaint number two, while they did a great job, is Alex Garfield and Emma Stone. They were great as Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy. Looks-wise, pretty solid. Biggest complaint with it, though, is you can tell they're not high schoolers. They're supposed to be seniors in high school in this movie. And they just look too mature. Emma Stone does not look like a teenager anymore. She's beautiful, she's a great actress, but she doesn't look 18. Alex Garfield, he looks younger than he really is, but he doesn't look that young. Now, the writers tried to compensate for this by having all of their exchanges be really, really awkward. Really awkward. I was an awkward teenager. I wasn't that awkward talking to girls. I'm fairly certain that they had, like, 3 conversations in the whole movie. Everything else was, like, unspoken stutterings and them somehow understanding things. Dennis Leary as Captain Stacy was perfect, though. I couldn't picture a better person to be Captain Stacy. Gwen and Peter stay alive through this movie. There's a bonus clip partway through the credits where you get a shadowy figure talking to Kurt Connors. Can't really tell who it is, but it makes it sound out like there's a bigger conspiracy. Is it Norman Osborn? He's mentioned a lot. It's mentioned that he's dying, and that the whole point behind the lizard formula is to find a cure for Norman Osborn. Obviously, this should lead into the Goblin formula, which makes him the Green Goblin. Hopefully that's a sequel. Do Green Goblin, but do him right. He doesn't need big old armor and ugly, stupid helmet thing. Make him look like they do in the comics. But yeah. So, Amazing Spider-Man, I will give a 4 out of 5. The animation, the CGI effects in it were beautiful, pretty seamless. The witty banter was good. Spider-Man joked with the crooks, got him confused, got him off balance, and then he took him down. I look forward to seeing more of it, and I look forward to seeing you guys here next week. Maybe another episode Friday. I might go 2 a week. Once you start, you just can't stop. So, until next time, I'll see you guys later.